I'm Maddie Heimsch, and I speak with the parents of the 14-year-old girl killed in Evansville over the weekend. They say they spoke to their daughter the morning she died.
I'm Ellie LaLiberte, why Meritor nurses say they're ready to strike over safety concerns.
And later, the Madison School District dealing with internet issues the past couple days. We'll hear from some teachers on how they're dealing with the outages. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. We begin tonight with the latest on a shooting in Evansville that left a 14-year-old girl dead. That shooting happened Sunday morning on South Madison Street. 3 people are now in custody as part of the investigation in relation to Florencia Henthorn's death.
The Rock County Sheriff's Office says Hunter Dreyfall and Alyssa Ahrens are charged for contributing to the delinquency of a minor, resulting in death, and multiple sex crimes against a child. Meanwhile, William Dreyfall faces a charge of violating probation. For more on the investigation, Maddie Heimsch joins us live in Evansville, where she also spoke to the victim's parents. Maddie, what did they tell you?
This house behind me is where 14-year-old Florencia Henthorn was found Sunday morning with a gunshot wound to her head. She died later that day in the hospital. And I spoke with her parents today. Florencia's mom tells me that she talked with her daughter on the phone the morning of her death and didn't get any indication that anything was wrong. The 14-year-old's parents say she was outgoing and made friends with everybody.
Some of her friends that posted like stories on Facebook, and I have seen a couple that said, "I'm waiting for you to call me," because she was always on the phone with some of her friends. Someone different all the time.
We obtained a criminal complaint from the Rock County clerk explaining that Florencia had been staying with 26-year-old Hunter Dreyfall for about a week before her death. And at some point before the shooting Sunday morning, there was an argument about selling sexual videos Hunter Dreyfall and Ahrens made with the 14-year-old girl. Dreyfall and Ahrens gave conflicting stories about the shooting. Both are currently being held in the Rock County Jail. Reporting live from Evansville, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Okay, thank you, Maddie. Meanwhile, a GoFundMe has been set up to help the family pay for funeral expenses. So far, it's raised more than $8,000 with a goal of $10,000. If you'd like to help, we have a link to the GoFundMe on channel3000.com. And today, Meritor nurses held what they're calling a strike-ready rally to demand improved safety and security practices.
The event started at 1 p.m. today at Birmingham Park in Madison. Our Ellie LaLiberte was there and shows us why nurses say they need a change.
What do we want? We are ready to strike if need be.
Amanda Husk is a postpartum nurse at Meritor Hospital, rallying for a safer work environment.
Nurses are working hard to take care of our patients, and safety should not be something that we need to worry about for ourselves or patients or loved ones on our floors.
She's one of dozens coming out during ongoing union contract negotiations with Meritor management. Pat Reyes is the SEIU Wisconsin president and a nurse herself.
We have to do something to make sure that we're protected. In my 36 years as a nurse, I have been attacked.
She says the 3 main priorities are getting nurse-to-patient ratios down, improving workplace safety, and increasing pay.
We have to find ways to make that work environment better so people will come back to the hospital. Otherwise, when you're sick, you're not going to have the availability of nurses.
This isn't the first time Meritor nurses have called for improved wages and safety. They've been in negotiations since the end of January, but on March 16th, the contract was up. And now the union heads back to the negotiating table on Wednesday.
Hopefully we can take this momentum and really translate that into successful bargaining.
In a statement to News 3 Now, Meritor Hospital Chief Nursing Executive says, quote, "We have deep respect and gratitude for our nursing staff and recognize that healthcare roles are facing increased challenges. We are committed to working with SEIU Wisconsin to address their concerns through a fair contract that both parties can support." But for nurses like Husk,
I think there's a ways to go, but we're ready to do what we need to do to get there.
Reporting at Birmingham Park in Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. According to Ray's, nurses are required to give a 10-day notice to Meritor before striking to allow the hospital then to find staffing for patient care. But at this time, Meritor says it has not received that notice.
2 people are dead after a motorcycle crash in Portland, Wisconsin, Sunday night. The Monroe County Sheriff says it happened on State Highway 33 near County Highway X. They were headed west on 33 when the driver lost control going around a curve. The driver was thrown from the bike, which crashed into a car with the passenger still on the bike. Both the motorcycle driver and the passenger died at the scene. No one in the car was hurt, and the crash remains under investigation. Madison schools saw an internet outage across the entire district all of Monday and part of the school today.
Our Jalen Banks caught up with Madison Teachers Incorporated, the teachers union, on how this outage impacted their jobs.
The Madison Metropolitan School District battled an internet outage Monday and Tuesday. And speaking to one local teachers union, the timing was less than ideal. The internet has become an integral part of our everyday lives, and that became even more evident when MMSD had an internet outage throughout the entirety of the district.
All of a sudden, all those notes, all those activities, those videos, all those things that usually go into a lesson or an activity now you don't have anything.
And the outage was particularly harmful for one group.
Because it's been extremely stressful. Our elementary teachers, we have parent-teacher conferences coming up Thursday night and Friday, and they were supposed to have half of the day yesterday to do that work, to figure out everything so they have everything prepared for the kids and the parents, and all that time was gone.
Jones feels despite the inconvenience, there are lessons to be learned from the outage.
It's kind of like COVID. We should have different plans as contingencies, and make sure we are incorporating the voices of our families, of our educators, of our students, to make sure that it's not just top down, because I think that's when we lose stuff.
For now, reporting in the newsroom, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Madison Teachers Inc. says the internet was back up and running throughout the district around noon today. Well, staying cooler for now, Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington with your certified most accurate forecast on the patio. Alex?
Yeah, it is chilly. You need your jacket. I probably could do with a pair of gloves and maybe a hat as well out here with temperatures in the 40s. But we've got even warmer temperatures in our future. We just got to get through a couple of days and those temperatures are going to rise to above normal values. Look at that. By the time we get to Saturday, Sunday, going on into Monday of next week, we crack the 60-degree mark. Normal highs this time of year right around 54. We're way below that Wednesday going into Thursday. And with that, Wednesday going into Thursday, as we've been talking about now for a couple days, is going to be some precipitation. 43 in Madison. We got up to 44 in the 5 o'clock newscast. 45 still in Janesville, and 47 still hanging on to that out in the Mississippi River area. 46 on the west side of Dane County. We got 42 to 43 on the east side of Dane County right now. Again, this is cool for this time of year by about 10 degrees, but at least we have the sun out, although clouds are filling in as we speak right now. Those clouds are going to get even thicker overnight tonight as we get prepared here for wet weather Wednesday going into Thursday. Coming up in Maine weather, we will track that weather system using Future Track and I'll let you know when those showers arrive in southern Wisconsin.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex. Former state Supreme Court Justice Michael Gableman has agreed to surrender his law license. This is in order to settle multiple misconduct violations. Gableman led an investigation into President Trump's 2020 loss, which included election conspiracies. The State Office of Lawyer Regulation filed a 10-count misconduct complaint against him last November. Now, Gableman says in the filing that the complaint provides, quote, an adequate factual basis and that he could not defend himself against the allegations. The Supreme Court has the ability to revoke his license, but they rarely do so in cases like these.
Right now, President Trump's sweeping tariff plans are continuing to send shockwaves through the global markets, and the next big impact could be on your wallet. Experts say the first place you might see it's at the grocery store, especially the produce aisle. That's because fresh fruits and vegetables have high turnover, and many household favorites require some supplies from abroad.
Have a look at where each of the grocery items you're buying came from. Where did the avocados come from? Where did the vegetables come from? Where did your pasta come from? and a lot of it came from abroad.
Even products produced here in the U.S. could see a price hike because of the tariffs, because producers will have to cover the cost of raw materials. That's one thing American farmers are concerned about right now, facing higher costs on things like fertilizer, equipment, and other supplies.
And coming up on News 3 Now at 6, the Wisconsin National Guard has appointed a new leader.
Plus, the Girl Scouts need help selling cookies. How you can become a cookie hero when News 3 Now at 6 returns.
Now at 6.
Welcome back. There's a new leader, the Wisconsin National Guard. Governor Tony Evers promoting Brigadier General Matthew Strub after interim Adjutant General David May retired. Over the past 2 decades, Brigadier General Strub has commanded both Wisconsin Army National Guard aviation flight facilities. His appointment is effective April 18th. He'll serve a 5-year term as head of the National Guard and also the Department of Military Affairs.
Well, we aren't the only ones feeling the pinch of high prices at the grocery store. The Badgerland Girl Scouts are also seeing fewer cookie sales compared to previous years. And without enough sales, some of the Girl Scouts will miss out on planned opportunities like their summer camps and even traveling to Washington, D.C. for the National Girl Scout Convention. So that's why they're looking for cookie heroes to step in and help out.
You can go online to our website, gsbadgerland.org, and click Be a Cookie Hero. That'll take you to a page where you can see a list of Girl Scouts and what their goals are to do with their cookie sales. You can choose which Girl Scout you'd like to support. You can sort by zip codes. You can find a Girl Scout right in your local community and buy the cookies from them.
And then bring them to work so you don't eat them all. Right now, 72,000 packages of cookies are looking for a home. All of the cookie flavors are in stock and available for purchasing, including the Toastiers. Now, this is the Toastiers' final season, so once they're gone, they are gone for good.
Well, the way your teenager uses Instagram is changing once again. Today, Instagram unveiling new protections that it is adding to teen accounts. Among the changes, teens under the age of 16 will be prohibited from going live without a parent's permission. A teen will also need a parent to sign off on them turning off the feature that blurs images that may contain nudity in direct messages. The new protections will be available in the coming months. Well, still ahead, get your thinking caps ready when the world's largest trivia contest is scheduled to start.
Plus, could popular weight loss drugs help fight dementia? What some new studies are suggesting.
And are we really going to see more snow tomorrow? Alex with a complete forecast after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Drugs used for diabetes and weight loss have been shown to have other added benefits, and now that may also include curbing dementia. 2 studies published in JAMA Neurology suggest the class of diabetes drugs that includes Ozempic and Wegovy can protect against dementia. One of those studies finding the drugs cut the risk by 45%. Both analyzed diabetes patients who were using these drugs back in 2014. Now more research needs to be done to see what the effects may be on people without diabetes.
What we're seeing is there's this underlying mechanism of damage to blood vessels, inflammation, which is what's driving many of the chronic diseases we see, whether that's heart disease, kidney disease, damage to the brain, which can lead to stroke or dementia. So it makes sense that these medications may potentially have this effect.
Now, in other news about these weight loss drugs, the Trump administration is rejecting a Biden administration proposal to expand coverage to Medicare, leaving many Americans to continue paying out of pocket. A spokesperson for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services says the decision may be reconsidered later. Medicare will still cover drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy for patients who suffer from serious ailments like heart disease or diabetes.
Well, the cooler weather continues with maybe some snow on the way. I don't feel like we should be saying that right now, Alex.
No, that's a word that I think just about everybody will say. Don't say that, Alex. Please don't say that. But we do have some rain and some snow on the way. The plus side is whether it's rain or it's snow, that puts moisture in the ground here, as we see as part of our first one weather cam. Upland Hills Sky Cam here. It's starting to get green in Dodgeville, and it's going to continue to get more and more green as we add more water with Wednesday going into Thursday. As a weather system moves through the area, the sun comes out. That'll help the grass to grow by the time we get to Friday, and so will the mild temperatures by the time we get to the upcoming weekend. Here are those showers. Let's get right to it. 9:30 in the morning, stretching from Boscobel to Lone Rock to Madison, down to Janesville and Elkhorn, and then those showers lift towards the north a little bit, up towards, let's say, the Wisconsin River Valley by the time we get to noon, and then they take over all of southern Wisconsin. Enough cool air could fall into place here Temperatures getting into the upper 30s by the time we get into Wednesday evening, and then mid-30s for a mix of slushy wet snow. That slushy wet snow will, if it does accumulate, would be on those grassy surfaces. The soils are warming up, and with the grassy surfaces and warmer soils, I'm not expecting significant amounts of accumulation. I'll show you a projection in just a moment. Scattered rain and snow showers continue Thursday morning at 6. And they continue to meander about throughout the day on Thursday. One of those, or 2 days really, of raw spring-like weather. The good news is we'll take the water 1/4 to 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of water across all of southern Wisconsin. And this is a projection of that snow. Wherever it can cool down just enough, maybe a slushy inch or 2. But as it falls, a lot of it's going to melt as it's falling on contact, and we'll likely just have wet roadways. We're not expecting significant travel delays. Warmer to the west tonight. That's where the clouds come in first. Where the clouds come in a little bit later, we'll get into the low 30s, 31, 32 to 33 across southern Wisconsin. Mid 40s, perhaps some upper 40s out to the west towards the Mississippi River with a little bit of that mix of rain and mixing in with a little bit of that wet snow. Let's plan the evening here outside. Cool. You're going to need a jacket, gloves, and a hat tonight. As we get into the early morning hours, there are those clouds filling on into southern Wisconsin. 53 on Friday, 61 by Saturday, 60s as we carry forth from Sunday going on into Monday, out into next week. And on Friday, that will end Severe Weather Awareness Week. A lot of information on the screen here, but I want to say 2 things here as we continue to impart information on severe weather across southern Wisconsin. If there's flash flooding and water over a roadway, you do not want to cross that. Turn around, don't drown. And whenever there's lightning or whenever you hear thunder, a good little rule to go by is when thunder roars, stay indoors. This is Severe Weather Awareness Week, and more tips that we will cover throughout the rest of this week.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex. Well, trivia enthusiasts are braving the cold and snow.
I'm done with it. I don't want to hear any more about snow.
To get ready for the world's largest trivia contest. It kicks off Friday at the University of Wisconsin in Stevens Point. Registration started yesterday and drew a long line of participants with people. Look at the poor people in the snow. All these people taking part in the event.
It's like a family. Our trivia teams, they've been around forever. We make friends out of other trivia teams, people that you meet. The contest is fun. It's exciting. If you love pop culture, trivia is definitely something for you because everybody knows a little bit of something.
Friday's event will kick off with a trivia parade that runs through campus, hopefully warmer.
And coming up in sports, embracing the opportunity. While Billy Edwards Jr. is the right man to be Wisconsin's QB1. That's next on News 3 Now. Wisconsin football is in what Luke Fickell likes to call the dog days of spring ball. Practice 8 of 15 where there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to keep pushing through to get where you want to be. And being a Badger is what Billy Edwards Jr. wants to be. He's 3 months into his time at UW, and Wisconsin's QB1 is embracing the change and making the most of his final opportunity.
To know that this is my last season, and to be at a place like Wisconsin that's this special, and to have the special people in our building, all the way from the head coach down to our janitors that come in, when we're done practicing and whatnot, it makes it all the more better, for me to just come out here and give these guys in the locker room and give this facility my all, and try to live with no regrets. That's been my biggest thing. It's just every day I'm given an opportunity, whether it's an off day, whether it's a Saturday, a Sunday, just to make the most of it.
The college basketball season is officially in the books after last night's national championship game, but it's never too early to start thinking about next year. Case in point, ESPN's way too early top 25, and the Badgers cracked the top 15. Wisconsin sits at 14th in the poll as one of 5 Big Ten teams listed. The countdown next season is a little over 200 days away. Getting to know Mark Johnson over the past couple years, you learn what he's passionate about. Hockey, well, that's a no-brainer. The game of golf, he loves to play it. Now his next project, horses. Today, Mark and his wife Leslie broke ground on Agape Ranch, a place where kids struggling with anxiety and depression can heal through working with horses. It's a way for the Johnsons to serve others while fulfilling a dream of Leslie's.
My thought process was, we've done hockey for a long time. She sort of followed me around, whether I was playing or whether I'm coaching now. And, why doesn't she do something that she loves to do? So how can we connect horses with what maybe it can helpful for the community? So whatever's going on in your world, once you come on the property, you can let that down, and then through even as simple as walking around the property or whatever that we can do to help them out and give them space where they can start to heal and create hope in their lives.
No, he's not retiring. He's just doing this as on the side.
Just when I thought I couldn't like Mark Johnson.
Yeah,
more.
right.
He is just an outstanding human being. That's an awesome thing for him and his family. Coming up tonight at 10, 2 cars are missing after being stolen from a used car lot in Middleton. What Shep Motors is doing now to tighten up security there. That's later tonight, News 3 Now at 10.
And now we've got a final check on the forecast. A few so-so days to get through, but it'll be nice after that.
Yeah, so-so days for Wednesday going on into Thursday. Showers after clouds build in tonight and lows you'll wake up to tomorrow morning in the 30s. We'll make it into the 40s as we get into Wednesday with those showers lasting into Thursday and then 60s by the weekend.
All right.
Take it.
Sounds a lot better.
Good
Thanks
stuff.
for joining us at 6.
See you at 10.